Hey everybody, I'm Nicholas Skinner with Skinner Games, and you're here for another episode of Game Reviews in 5 minutes or less. In this week's episode, we'll be talking about this game, Full Metal Plate Mail. Now it is a thin volume. You can get this on Lulu, links of which I will post below in the description. And it's a fun and simple reinterpretation of old school Dungeons & Dragons. Now I'll read the summary that's on the back of the book because I believe it describes the game pretty well. Full Metal Plate Mail is a retro clone of popular pen and paper role-playing rules from the 1970s, reorganized and clarified and with a few gaps filled, but as little altered as necessary. This book is a complete rule set in one volume. It contains 3 unique character classes, dozens of magical spells and wondrous items, over 100 monsters, all one needs to play apart from a set of dice. Nothing truer could be stated. This, my friends, is Dungeons & Dragons at its very basic. And as you can see from the cover, they even use older art. The art is from dozens of different artists within the public domain, and gives the book kind of a nice quirky feel to it. I actually quite like it. Here's a couple examples. Gives it this nice, really kind of old-fashioned feeling to it. Things reminiscent of Arthur Rockham's art, or maybe even Brian Froud, who isn't really that old, but you know what I'm talking about. Now you get the 3 classic classes, because that's not a confusing statement at all. Within this volume, you get your cleric, your fighter, and your mage. Your cleric goes up to level 13, your fighter goes up to level 12, and your mage goes up to level 18, because there's a ton of stuff for mages to do. They all end up having their basic abilities, the cleric being able to turn undead, the fighter being able to have multiple attacks, the mage being able to create magic items and learn spells, and you get a number of races to help you along. The quote-unquote bobbit to avoid copyright infringement, your dwarf, your elf, and your human. You get very sparse rules for wilderness exploration and dungeon exploration, because honestly, you don't really need anything that complicated. And you get the old school combat matrix put back in the game. For those of you who may not be aware of what the combat matrix is, or even THAC0 for example, it works significantly different than the way Dungeons & Dragons works now, where you roll a die and you have to get over somebody's armor class, usually starting at 10. With the attack matrix, the armor class starts at 9 and goes into the negative. So for those who aren't used to playing an older form of Dungeons & Dragons, this one will get a little crazy to begin with, but the matrix is there to help you be able to roll and adapt. You get a lot of your good core rules, your jousting, your aerial combat, your naval combat, and things like that. But I really love the way the book is actually organized, which may sound kind of silly to people to buy a book based on organization, but I like to be able to find crap when I want to find it. And one thing that I think the official games could really learn from is this. Index for spells, also one for monsters, in the text of the game. This is in the middle of the book, not in the back. So when you're looking for the spell section, you turn to the spell section, you see your index, and you can look at it from there. I know they're all listed in alphabetical order, and that's great. But this one, you can turn right to the page. Got the spell index, you can bookmark that sucker, whatever. You go straight there. I love that you can do that. I also mentioned that you can do that with monsters. It's fantastic. And you've got a lot of your basic monsters. Your chimera, your cockatrice, there's skeletons, giant snakes. There's also robots and other couple of fun things in here. And for a relatively inexpensive volume on Lulu, Full Metal Plate Mail is totally worth the buy. So if you're looking for something simple to sit down with a bunch of new role players, teach your kids, or just have a really fun diversion from your normal campaign, take a look at Full Metal Plate Mail. It has a really lot of fun things in it, gets you a nice old school feel from a good older version of Dungeons & Dragons. And I think you guys could have a lot of fun with it. If you've taken a look at Full Metal Plate Mail because of this review, please leave a comment below, let us know what you think about it. If you found this review informative in any way, please give us that old like, subscribe to our channel, tell your friends, and take a look at our other show, Retro Roleplaying, where we'll be playing through a lot of these systems that we talk about on this show, so that you can see them in action and decide whether you want to play them yourselves. So thanks for giving us a look. Take a look at our website. We have some articles and some free stuff on there, which I need to update also. It's been a while. But thanks for joining us, and as always, happy gaming!